Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to study the address, the second chapter from your textbook Snapshots. So, this is the second story from your textbook Snapshots, and we are going to study this story called The Address, and this is written by Margaminko. This is a short story, and um, this story revolves around the aftermath of the war in Holland, and we have to know that this happened a very long time ago, and this after the war had finished. I think we all know what used to happen during wartime. People used to flee from their country. People used to run away from their hometown. They will go to another country, but they will come back and they will want to uh, get back to their normal life as normal as possible. Now, what happened is that there is a young woman who came back after the war. She came back to this old address which she used to live during the wartime with her mother. And there is this address that she knew by heart, and she came back to this place. This place is where she used to live as a child with her mother. So she wanted to come back to see what had happened to their home. And so she came back, and she find that this is a very now times are changing, and there are other people uh, who are already living in their home. And now when she came to this address that she knew, she knocked on the door, and there was a woman who opened the door. And this she was asking this woman who had opened the door, "Do you know me? Do you still know me?" And this woman had looked at her and said, "No, I don't know you." And um, she introduced herself. "I am Mrs. S's daughter. I'm Mrs. S's daughter." And but this woman, this girl who had opened the door, was holding the door firmly. She didn't even ask her to come inside the house. And she was standing there in the doorway as if she did not want this girl to come inside their house. And so she did not even ask her to come inside their house. And at first she thought that she had come to the wrong address. At first she thought that these people might not know her. She thought that she had come to the wrong address. But this woman, she was looking at her, she was staring at her, and she said, "How did you know, did you know my mother?" She was asking her. And but this woman was telling her, "How did you come back? I thought that no one will come back. Why did you come back?" And now uh now she said that, "My mother is not here. You have to wait, and I cannot do anything for you." And she opened the door, and she let her come inside. Now what happened was that this girl, she looked at the nameplate that was put on top of their door, and it was written Dorling. Now in black letters, and there was the door number, the house number on top of that name, and it says number 46. Now she knew that, you know, she had come to the right place. She had come to the right place that time. She knew that she had not mistaken. But when she came there, and since the woman said that her mother is not home and she cannot help her with anything, she went back to the station. And while she was walking towards the station, she was thinking about what had happened to them. This address was given by her mother, who had died a long time ago, who had died because of all this is happening. And now she was thinking that, okay, her mother must have mistaken, because her mother had trusted this woman named Dorling so much. And she remembered her childhood, and she remembered that it was already, the war was already beginning, and there were chaos uh, and problems all around them. And she remembered that there was a woman who used to come to their home, and this woman, her mother told her every time that this woman came, she used to take home um, some things of theirs with her. And her mother trusted this woman, darling. And this girl was remembering her childhood, and she remembered that she used to peek from her bedroom door or from the stairways. She will peek at the woman who came, and and this woman used to carry this huge briefcase with her, and inside that her mother would ask her to take care of all these silver utensils or their valuable things with her. She used to give it to her to protect it, to to keep it safe for them during the war. And she used to she used to take home all these valuable things with them. And uh, her mother completely trusted this woman named Mrs. Dorling. Now, what happened was that uh, in the morning, when she was walking towards that train station, she remembered the first time that she had met Mrs. Dorling also. And it was during that time that her mother had introduced her to Mrs. Dorling. Her mother said, "This is my daughter." And she was a very shy girl, so she was hiding behind her mother. And the after she left their house, she asked her mother, "Does she live far away?" And her mother tell her, "In Marconi Street, number 46." Now, number 46 Marconi Street, that is what she remembered all her life. That is what she remembered her mother telling her time and time again, because this is the place where Mrs. Dorling lived, and this is the place where she had taken all their valuable things with her. And now, after that, after they had entrusted all their valuables with Mrs. Dorling, she and her mother, they moved away from the country because of the war, and they moved away from the country to live somewhere else, and they entrusted all their belongings, valuables with Mrs. Dorling. And her mother had caught some disease and she had died, and before she died again, she had tell her the name of the address, that, you know, Marconi Street, number 46. This is what her mother had kept on telling her, and she remembered that very well. After the war is over and everything went peaceful, everything went back to normal again, she came back to their hometown, and she searched for this place, Marconi Street, number 46. And finally, when she came to this place, it seems as if that the people, the girl who was living there, choose to ignore her. She did not remember her. She said that, "Why did you come back? I thought that no one had come back." But she insisted that she will wait for her mother to come home, this girl's mother to come home, the girl who had opened the door. And the second time she went, because she went a first time and this girl told her that her mother is not at home, and she went back home. And the second time she went there, she insisted that she wait for her mother. Again, the girl was saying that her mother had gone somewhere else doing running some errand, but she insisted that she will wait for her mother to return home. So while she was going inside, and when she was looking at the inside of this Mrs. Dorling's house, she could see all their valuables, all their furnitures being displayed as if it was their own. She could see that all this, you know, expensive table, there are some paintings on the wall which used to belong to them, and even the table cover was a very expensive one which they used to have, and they displayed it as if it were their own. And she could see the silverware as all at all. And so This girl, the Mrs. Dorling's daughter, she had made some tea for her, and she served her some tea in a cup. And when she looked at those teacups, she instantly knew that these are their teacups. You know, the very expensive chinaware that they had when they were little, when she was a little girl. And she had they had so many of them, and they had displayed all these furnitures and their belongings as if it were their own, because they thought that these people will not come back, so they can have all these things that were entrusted to them. And now she was thinking that, okay, maybe times have changed and her mother is already dead. So suddenly she said, okay, it is a long time that I have waited for your mother. I will not continue to wait for your mother. I will go home. So she got up and she walked towards the door, and she went out of that door, and she decided that she will never went to this place again. And when she went out of the door, she looked back and she could see that this is Marconi Street number 46. She had not mistaken where she had come, but she knew that these people are so greedy that they had whatever they entrusted to them, they use it as if it were their own. So she thought that it is not worthy of her to chase around these people who are very greedy, who are already using all their valuable things as if it were their own. And she thought that she will not go back to this place again. She will never go back to this place again. She will forget about this address and all the things that is happening to her during her childhood. And she thought that it will be easier if she forget all this and start a new life by herself. So this is what the story is about. And again, I want you to read the textbook by yourself. Please read the textbook by yourself. This is a short story, like I said, so you will understand better. You will understand the story better when you read the textbook. And with that, thank you, class. I hope to see you in the next class again.